All right, well, we're going to have some fun here today. I'm looking at this as an opportunity for you to pull it all together. I'm so glad you came to this. I expected about this many people in the room because some people have left, and frankly, some people were out till 2:30 last night. That's when I woke up, worrying about giving my best to you folks here today. So let's have some fun. Have you had a good time? Awesome. For how many people this is your first time? All right, whoop, whoop. I've been at all 7 of them. I was part of the team that founded this, and they've just grown bigger and better, and it's been amazing to run the conference on EOS. And so let me ask you, how many of you have had the opportunity to connect with others on their EOS journey? Connect? Good connection here? Like you walk in the hall and you want to talk about stuff, and people want to talk about it too. You're like, none of my friends are like this. They just tell me, roll their eyes and like, oh, whatever, you and your business, blah, blah, blah. All right, connect with other like-minded people. Have you had the opportunity to learn from great subject matter experts? Yeah, what have you learned? What are some good nuggets? What are you going to take home? Everything. She's nodding her head. I don't know. Everything. It was all great. Learn. Yeah. Oh, God bless you. Absolutely. I do the tools every time. I get to see them often on my path to mastery, and I always learn a nugget. Do you know why? We come to it as different people. It was that whole thing we saw yesterday from Dr. Hardy, the past. We're reshaping all the time. That was such a great model for your EOS journey. So we've learned from amazing subject matter experts, and then strengthen our understanding of EOS. Have you been able to do that as well? Awesome. So connect, learn, and strengthen are the 3 uniques of the EOS conference. And they have dictated every single facet of your experience here. So if you're just starting on your VTO, there's a little thing called 3 uniques, and you do them either on your own when you're filling it all out or with your implementer, and then whoop, you forget about them. But this is what it looks like in real life. Connect, learn, and strengthen, 3 uniques of this event. Hopefully unlike any other event on Earth, including Barnum and Bailey Circus. But we'll learn about orange monkeys later. All right, so today the talk is about we run on EOS, now what? And it's actually 2 things matched together. I want you to see running on EOS is kind of like the ding, ding, intel inside of your business. You've developed something, and it's a really great secret, and I want you to get it out to all of your stakeholders and share it with them. I'm doing this for 9 years now, and I've been getting on airplanes and put my little copy attraction in the seat pocket in front of me for 9 years saying, oh my God, someday somebody will point to that book and they'll say, hey, somebody just recommended that to me. That's on my nightstand to read. And now with over 1 million sold of traction alone and 2 million of the whole traction library, people know what it is. So if you are investing your time and your treasures and your talent, don't keep it a secret anymore. It used to be I'd work with somebody and they'll say, don't tell anybody in my trade association I want to run on EOS. I want it to be my own little secret. But now I want you to see it as a competitive advantage that it is for your business. So that's the part about we run on EOS. Now what? That's the front of the house. All the people you're going to tell, and we'll get to that a little bit later. Now the other part is, how do you run on EOS? What does it take to run on EOS? You need really good, it's the second component, you need really good people. That's the back of the house. People, rolling EOS out to the back of the house. So the first half of our presentation today, we're going to take you through an exercise to figure out what leverageable asset do you have to share with your stakeholders, front of the house, about running on EOS. And then about the last 20 minutes, we'll do back of the house. What can we do to roll out EOS better within our organization? Does that sound like a good use of your time to pull it all together? Excellent. Help me know where you are in your journey. How many people you've been on EOS for like a week? Like today's your first day or yesterday was. Oh, good. I've met a few of those people. They kind of look like this. I need to go to my room. How many people a year or less? Okay, great. And how many people 1.5 or less? How many people 2 or more? All right, so you're the 7-timers. You're going to hear things that you know, but I hope you still find a nugget out of it when I ask you to partner up. Find somebody who's newer and help them on their journey, because we're a help-first organization. Good with that? Great. All right, so before we begin, I have a video I want to share with you. And I set up really fast because Sue Hawks had a huge fan club in here while I was getting ready. And here is a video that shares a journey of someone who has run on EOS. Now you have 2 things in front of you. You have a paper handout that is mine to help guide you through the content today. And then you have this secret decoder ring to everything for EOS, a QR code page that is going to get you to tools and resources. So I'm going to reference that in the back half of our presentation. So I want you to watch this presentation of a company that's sharing about their We Run on EOS journey. And I want you to share what leverageable assets have they gained on their journey. Okay, this is a company. You're going to recognize some people here. Here we go. It's white, and then I press the button. Keep rolling. She gives me a thumbs up. Okay, here we go. Cross your fingers.
Since starting EOS, we set our goal of increasing our revenue by 30%, and we've been able to accomplish that every year since starting in 2019.
Before EOS, it was crazy. It seems like we kept in this gerbil wheel of life where things kept speeding up and we'd hit plateaus.
We knew what we were doing, we knew how we wanted to grow, but it wasn't deliberate.
So I remember very succinctly what happened the day that we decided that it was really time to do EOS. I'm on the phone with Dawn and I'm bawling my eyes out because I'm so frustrated by how crazy things are in the agency. And literally after that point, we were like, okay, we have to do EOS.
So I was meeting with one of our agency partners, and she was asking us if we had started EOS, and I said, no. I go, it's funny you say that because we tried it many years ago, and so I'm like, tell me more about it, because their organization had grown exponentially, and being a partner of them, we watched that growth. And so as she told me more about it and her implementer, I said, can you please make an introduction? And we've been working with Pam now for 3 years, and never look back.
And so an implementer coming in really does a great job of helping you discern what are the core issues and what are we trying to solve, and really picking it apart so you can get to the solves that you need to move ahead in business.
One of the tools that Pam introduced to us through EOS was the accountability chart, something I was not familiar with. And this is different than the org chart. It's not about a reporting structure. It gives clarity around the roles and responsibilities for the different disciplines in the agency.
Now running on EOS, we really have elevated and delegated a lot of what we do on a day-to-day basis, and we're really trying to grow professionally our team members. We're really trying to show them how EOS can help them run their business day-to-day with the team members that they're supporting, just like we do on the leadership team.
We've been in business 23 years. We've been on EOS 3 years, a little more than 3 years. I can't imagine not being on EOS. And quite frankly, I could kick myself in the butt for not starting earlier.
We are Hot Dish Advertising,
and we run healthier on EOS.
All right, so that was Hot Dish Marketing. What did you hear? What can they do now that they couldn't do before? Nothing? Were you all out last night till 2:30? This was the 2:30 crowd. This is what I get, huh? Okay. Accountability, right? What else? Grow their business, 30% more revenue. Anybody in here not want 30% more revenue? Of course, with profit. Revenue, profit, profit. We like profit. What else? She just went, I like to say this is the story of a company that went from hot mess marketing to hot dish marketing. They found their way back to what their true purpose was. Before that, it was just this emotional roller coaster for the business owner. Has anybody ever worked in a company where you just had that emotional intensity all the time? Say, I, and you felt like a pirate, like I'm going to mutiny any day now. This is driving me crazy. You don't want to work for that emotional roller coaster company. You want to work for a company that has stability. So the capacity that I see in this is we have delegate and elevate. Probably everybody's in the right seats. I love today, being an original part of the conference team. Something came up yesterday and I simply said, you know what, that's not my box. Have a nice day. Not my function. Goodbye. So there's role clarity. That's a beautiful thing when everybody wants to help, but everybody's helping and then you don't know who your leaders are. That revenue provides stability. So the usable components from this story include, what if they have an open to hire? They present that as a leverageable asset to their new hires. Is anybody looking for people right now, like good people, right? And do you have like 15 of the most qualified people in your waiting room every day? Showing up? No, they're hard to find. They're like gold. And so if you can say we're a very stable company, on day one, we have a process for orientation. You're going to show up and know exactly what your role is, who you report to, how success is measured, and you're not going to work for a whack job crazy boss. Don't you think the ideal candidate would sign up for that and want to go on that journey? And by the way, here are our core values. Those are the leverageable assets with your stakeholders. A lot of companies right now have actually turned their marketing teams into their outreach to find candidates to fill the roles, especially if you are in a service-oriented position and your people are your product. You are losing revenue because you don't have those seats filled. So think about saying to someone, proudly putting on your doorway, on your website, we run on EOS, because now it's a recognizable asset of a company that's really great to work for. It's a badge you have earned, and it's something honorable to share. So that's a great case study. I want to go on to what our couple of quotes, our objectives, and then ask you to do an exercise to begin to write your own story. This is a quote from Zig Ziglar. It says, "Success occurs when opportunity meets preparation." Success occurs when opportunity meets preparation. Opportunity, where does your opportunity come from? You're visionary. Where does the preparation come from? Your integrator. Success just doesn't happen. It's the intersection of lucky and smart when you have this really great idea and you're prepared and you know how to operationalize it. Fun fact, you heard Gino say from the stage yesterday, telling that one man get into the National Speakers Association. His dad, Floyd Wickman, is in it. He's one of the top 100 speakers of all times. Zig Ziglar was his mentor. So I like to think there's a little bit of Zig Ziglar in everything we do. It's in our DNA. Every time I read a Zig Ziglar quote, I'm like, oh, there it is in EOS. Nope, it's over there. So think about that, especially if you're a Zig Ziglar fan. Thomas Edison, he was the Elon Musk of his time. He had a whole campus of people and crazy ideas. Light up cities? You're nuts. What are you talking about? But what he says, I never did anything worth doing by accident, nor did any of my inventions came by accident. They came by work. Work happens with traction. It's a long game, over and repetitive. I love that you said hearing it 7 times for the first time. Your level 10 meeting, that issue doesn't go away. Next time doesn't go away. Finally, you solve it for good. Here in Thomas Edison, the entrepreneur and inventor of all time, there's EOS. So my objective today is to help you leverage the competitive advantage, increase your organizational effectiveness by that rollout, and discover tools and resources. A lot of them are free. Is anybody a TikTok fan? I'm a little bit of an addict, I'm sorry. I'm not the age group, but I found it somehow. And I like to call these hashtag EOS hacks they don't want you to know. There is so much free stuff. That's what that QR code sheet is all about. It's going to help you find the free content very easily so that you can go back and build a training program and roll EOS out to your entire organization. So that's my objective today, to introduce you to some of those tools. To set you up for the exercise, how many people are enjoying Jill Young as our MC? Hasn't she been awesome? I call her Vitamin J. Vitamin Jill. Those paintings that you see up there, those are hers. She does those. I took a painting class with Jill. She's just creative and love from the inside out. This is her quote: "Experience without reflection is lost." Put that in your book for your next clarity break. Experience without reflection is lost. So please go to the exercise, and wherever you are in your journey, I want you to fill out just the first 3 parts. And by the way, WRO isn't a rap song. It stands for We Run on EOS. Let's make your story happen. In the past, please write down an issue that you have solved for good. An issue in your organization that you have solved for good, even if it is bringing sense into your level 10 leadership meetings. That's an accomplishment. That's a first step. Write that down. We'll take a first pass at this. Use this as a reflection sheet if you don't have enough time to get through it today. Second exercise, or second question, what is a new competency you have built? Do you have finally all of your finances set so you can do a budget and predict your financials and do a financial forecast? Is that a competency you have built? Something you can point to and say, we did that. That's what rocks are all about. They're about building capacity for your future business so you can grow into it. What new capacity or competency do you have? And if you can think of it off the top of your head, which I hope you can, What future goal do you have in your near term to succeed? Preferably in a raw 1-year goal, something that's coming that you know in your heart, no hope for, only do. What is one goal you know you will do and achieve? Because that's what you signed up for. It's a journey. What are you going to make happen? So with those 3 things written down, I would like you to partner up. And if you're sitting way far away, you might move in with somebody. And I'd like you to just talk through these. I'm going to give you time to discuss it. Let's see, hopefully. Oh, we're having the unboxing party. That's what we're doing. That's another thing I love on TikTok. Ooh, unboxing tissue paper. So talk about it, unbox it with somebody, and come up with a story that you feel that you could tell, something you're really proud of out of these 3 nuggets, either past, present, or where you're going. And then we're going to nail it down at the end and come back and figure out your story and who you can tell that to. I'm going to give you a few minutes. So what is your We Run on EOS story? 4 minutes specifically.
It says one.
We are at 2 minutes. We are at 2 minutes. Change partners if you haven't spoken yet. Do you need anything? You good? You guys are fast learners, I can tell. All right, we're timed. If you need more time, raise your hand. I'll give you 1 more minute if you need it. All right. Oh, I see handshaking. I see numbers being exchanged. I see summer camp homes being exchanged. You're going to have a great time this summer. I just know it. Make connections here. It's fun to just walk up. I'm in engagement. I get to walk up to people. I'm just like, hey, what have you learned so far? And people are like, okay. Just reach out. Everybody's here in Orange Love. Who heard a really great story? Who heard a great story? Yes, Becky, what did you hear? Well, if you have one, loud and proud, you get a mic, you got to tell the room. Sorry.
I thought it was loud enough.
Loud and
So
proud.
what I was sharing is just our story for the company that I work with. I went to work for the company about 8 years ago, and we had a leader who ruled with an iron fist. And so we had our first meeting with our implementer, Mark Winters, in Dallas or Irving. And it was right after that I left. I left the company. And so I was gone and went to work for a local competitor, and I was miserable there. And so when I found out that leader was no longer at the business, I came back to a totally different company. The communication, the way we solve our issues, the rocks, the fact that employees have a voice at our company it's mind-blowing. I've been back for almost 4 years, and I still just am amazed at the change. So,
Nice. Becky,
yeah.
thank you for that. What's
Yeah.
your role there now?
I'm the Vice President of Revenue Cycle Management, or the Operations Leader.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so let's help Becky. What capacity has that story have for her to share with stakeholders? What did you hear? Company that lives their core values? You get 100%. Did you know if you get 100% of the right people in the right seats, your employee retention will go up to about 95%? The 5% that leave just have to for family reasons. So it sounds, do you have open hires right now?
Absolutely.
Are you promoting what a great place it is to work?
Absolutely.
Core values, core value video,
Yes.
things like that. That's a story because it's employees we don't know. And we wonder where that ghosting comes from. And we say, oh, those millennials. No, they just show up and they're on to you fast because they saw their parents go through it. And they're like, I'm leaving this place. I'm out of here. Right? So when they come in and they're like, really? People are nice to me. Core values are on the wall. And people actually live those core values. They're on the wall. They're not just on the coffee mug. They're in the organization. So tell your future hires like that. So who would tell that story in your company? Who would tell the story of core values? It could be your HR manager. Give that nice woman a hat and a round of applause, please. Did you get a hat? A flag? Nice looking man from South Dakota, Aaron. Aaron on the mic. All right. So share that, show that, especially when you're trying to get new hires. Any other great stories that you heard that you'd either want to share from somebody? Yeah, in the back. What's your name?
I'm Tim.
Hi, Tim.
I'm actually the opposite. I came into a company about a year and a half ago. It's dentistry. And I explained to my partner over here, I said, the inmates were running the prison. There were no values. No one was being held to any accountability, any of the values. People just did what they wanted. And if they didn't like it, they would just beat up the owner and his wife. So I've pretty much cleaned house and brought values in. I'm a retired military guy, so
Nice.
I'm all about value. Thank you.
Thank you for your
Have a good
service.
day. I'm all about values and structure, things of that sort, and brought that in. And you were talking about retention. Cleaned house, I literally had to let the owner's wife go. So I set a precedence. If I'm going to let her go, I will let anybody go if you're not going to follow the values that are set forth. And she did not have those values. Her husband did. She did. And we just set it forth, and we do have a wonderful place to come. We have other dentists that are kind of closing up, and their people are running to us, and we're
Yeah.
actually, nope, sorry, we're not hiring. Oh, we're not hiring. I've actually only had to hire one person in the past 6 months, and that person actually left. Her and her family moved. Her husband, military, and moved. So I have the kind of the opposite, but it's sort of the same feel to it. Is values are a huge, huge piece.
Nice. And so what story can you tell? Is that helping with patient retention, actually?
Yeah, that's a huge one. And the one owner's been 33 years. People love him. They flock to him. But it's
Wow.
the same thing as we have 75 to 80% of our patients come by word of mouth, which is huge. Yeah.
Yep.
So my marketing budget's really small. I
Right.
don't have to market too much. I usually have to send patients away. Sorry, I don't have any room. We're booking too far out. Things so it's nice to have sort of that issue now.
Yeah. Every client and employee from a referral because of what you've done. Give them a round of applause. And a hat. Give them a hat. I'm curious, what military medal of honor did you get for firing the owner's wife? Purple Heart, ribbons, something, surely. Yeah. Finally, right? You can be sure he doesn't say that at home over dinner. What he does after hours, that's on him. All right. Any other stories before we go? Are you getting? Yeah, go for it, Charlotte.
Thank you. I work for EOS Worldwide, and I want to give a shout out to us because I'm relatively new, and my accomplishment was I completed my orientation. We absolutely have a structured, huge process for completing orientations for getting us up to speed, which is really good. And the competency I built was I know EOS, tools, models, what I needed to know to go to my next project, which is to organize all of our training in our new learning management system. So we absolutely live it, and I am a product of it and very grateful for that.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I am blessed to work with you as part of the community team, Charlotte. Thank you
Back
for
at you,
sharing that.
Victoria.
Give Charlotte a round of applause. She's got a doctorate in learning and education instruction. She's the smartest person that I know in that area. And we wanted to bring in a subject matter expert, but that person didn't necessarily know about EOS. And if you think it's hard for you to learn EOS, imagine learning how the sausage is made about EOS. There's a lot of complexity. Open and honest, Charlotte's Rock was what, to bleed orange? It is? Anybody got an X-Acto knife? Let's cut her. Let's cut her right now. Let's see I assure you it would be orange like my car. Nice. That's right. Nice job. Thank you for that. So I just want you to understand and share the story. We know that we do it. We don't often recognize the milestones, celebrate the milestones, or market the milestones. So look at your new competencies and define for yourself what it means to run on EOS. Put that on your issues list, your next level 10. What does it mean? We run on EOS. Who should we be telling? I'll share with you, everybody, as Gino said, buy a book for everybody in your family and all your friends. That was a good line. I had a client who had core values, very urbanite, and they were very cerebral and integrity and very highbrow. And they had a vendor that they really counted on heavily, and they just couldn't get along. They could not get along. And one day they found that vendor's core values on their webpage. And their vendor's core values were things like, we don't drive around it, we drive over it. We eat gravel for breakfast. We play tennis with kittens. I mean, they were just like aggro and aggro and aggressive and stomping. And when they looked at that, they're like, man, we are just misaligned on our core values. Even just having your core values top of mind, so when you see them in violation, even with your vendors and your partners, it allows you to make better decisions. And if you have a vendor or supplier who is just a hot mess, take them through EOS. Send them a copy of Traction. I have clients that probably buy more Traction books than I do, embarrassingly, and they just send them to everybody because they want to work with people that speak that same language. Wouldn't it be great if you both, your supplier and you, had scorecard numbers that matched up? Not just compartmentalizing within your departments, but across your whole supply chain. Holy moly's, now we're making a dent in the universe. That would be incredibly impactful. So I want you to write down the name of your hot mess vendor, supplier, I don't even care if it's your landlord, and send them a copy of Traction. And Pam said she'd do it for you. I heard her say that, right? P. Kosanke at EOS Worldwide. She'll send a book to anybody, as will I. P. Cabot at EOS Worldwide. All right, so write that down. Do you have a plan now? Do you have a better understanding of what it means to run on EOS? Great. So let me turn you into some other resources. We are building a directory here. We are building it here, and when it gets populated to the point where there is something there, nobody wants to show up to a party where nobody's there. How many people you were in the oil stadium last night, the first one's there, like, there's no party here yet. You got to wait for it to get populated. So we are populating our directory. Please put your name in before you go. You can do that at the EOS Worldwide booth, which is where all the fun background things are. Get a picture for the home social media page and be in that directory. It's not just to find suppliers, but envision this. What business are you in? Trucking. Imagine if you typed in the directory trucking and you found another non-competing trucking company in a different area and you said, hey, I see you run on EOS. Could we just schedule some time to talk about scorecards? Because we're working on ours and we just haven't nailed it yet. Find other people, form your own peer groups. One of the things we've heard over and again here at the conference is I want to find people in my industry. We are simple and focused in what we do. That wasn't quite what we could bring to here. We want to bring you together in your roles. The directory provides you an opportunity to find others in your industry. That will be very powerful once it's going. Get in on it so that when your friends get in on it and they see your name there, you're like, I've been there for 10 years, whatever. Put the badge on your website. That's available for download. Use it on your social media. Create your We Run on EOS statement. I did a sample one here. What does it mean to run on EOS? I think that's on the second page here. Just something like our company has invested in running on EOS. It's a simple set of practical tools designed especially for entrepreneurial companies. Customers, vendors, suppliers, and stakeholders appreciate that we are well run and focused on our goals. Any version of that is going to come up and people are going to go, I'm kind of curious. I want to know more about that. So leverage it to your advantage. In your processes, use it in your sales process. One of the most powerful and underutilized tools. Sometimes I fight tooth and nail on this and I don't know why. It's the power of your proven process. How many people have fixed this, have it in a hard copy, use it as, this is just your proven process through your selling, your client engagement. How many people have this in your company? Raise your hand. Give those folks something. Give them a round of applause, give them a hat, I don't care. And look at the rest of you. This document alone is a game changer. Please, you don't need a nice graphic designer. You need a napkin and a pen. Write it out. Does everyone know what a proven process is? I'm happy to go through it. So it's the meeting for free about you, about me. Do we like each other? Do we want to go forward? Here's what I do for you. Here's what I expect of you. Okay, we want to do that. Then the next step is let's start doing that, onboarding, and then let's do it forever. We're going to have quarterly client business reviews, and we're going to have annual meetings. And by the way, those are just opportunities to do what? Sell more, retain clients, upsell, see if you're going to get laid off. This is a really powerful tool. So when I say use it in your sales process, that's what it means to run on EOS in your sales process. We've touched on hiring. We've touched on vendor selection. Let's say you have to put a proposal together there. Put your We Run on EOS statement if you are in the business of submitting proposals for work. Put that in there. Someday it's going to trigger something in someone and they go, wow, that's a sign of accomplishment. And making sure it's just part of your VTO. Every quarterly, sit down and say, what can we do more to maximize marketing the fact we run on EOS? And I'm saying this again for your benefit, whether you say it or not, whether you say it as EOS or not, make it a value statement to your stakeholder, your vendor, your partner, your hire, your client, right? I'm not up here trying to say, oh, put my sticker all over your car. Just do something with it because you're investing in it. All right, we are at the halfway mark. Boop. Part 2, take 2. Now we're going to do EOS rollout. Now this is the back of the house. Let me share with you why rolling EOS out is so incredibly important. If you've worked with an implementer, you saw this on Focus Day, and it comes from a Harvard Business Review article from 1978. And it talks about how businesses grow. The evolution, sorry for my back. Oops. Yeah, and the revolution. And the evolution. And the revolution. It is not a straight line. Our bodies know how to grow, and it's somewhat linear. We don't really notice it. But our businesses grow all herky-jerky, right? We have our systems and process in place, and we can evolve into what we have set up our systems for. This is the size of our business. And then, called hitting the ceiling, we hit revolution, right? We hire that, I don't know, in California, that 25th employee. That means now we have all these new rules, or we add a new line of revenue, or we just do something different that complexifies our business, and we can no longer serve with the systems we have in place. And this is why I've worked for so many companies that weren't successful. We're going to be a $20 million company in 5 years. 5 years later, we're going to be a $20 million company in 5 years. 5 years later, you never get there because you don't have the systems and process and structure to develop it. So you hit the ceiling, and then what EOS has done with all the rocks, you've built the capacity, you've built the room, you've built the CRM, you've built the systems, so you can open that door into a new volume of business and say, hello, we're ready for you, right? That's what it's all about. And so and you do this over and again. By the way, you come to EOS once, and then you're going to operationalize your business faster over and again, and you're going to hit that ceiling of complexity over and again. Charlotte, I think we do it about once a quarter. Am I right? Because we're growing. But we're okay with that. We're okay with it because we have an operating system to hang it on. How many people have hit the ceiling more than once since they've started running on EOS? For those of you who don't have your hands up, it's coming. Just prepare for it. That's where you go to the 5 principles. Less is more. Simplify. Structure. You may have to retool your accountability chart. Don't just do the tools once. It's not a one and done. It's ever and evolving so that you can grow. It's like a chrysalis and a butterfly. A chrysalis and a butterfly. You're ever evolving. So you need everybody in your organization to understand EOS. That's what EOS rollout is about. How many people only, open and honest here, I'm going to ask you to be vulnerable, raise your hand. Don't point to the crowd. We don't want anyone indicted. How many people here only run EOS at the leadership team level? Level 10s are just for leaders. Doors closed, 90 minutes, Monday, 10 to 11:30. Do not come in. We are busy. Let that go. Make it a rock next quarter to take EOS the next level down. Sometimes what people will do is just percolate with your mid-level managers. Hey, we're going to tell you about this thing. Do you know how you measure success? Tell me about your numbers. I want to know. Hey, could you sign up for maybe getting something done in the next 3 months? Soft shoe it, soft sell it a little bit, right? And then all of a sudden, it's like Karate Kid, right? Wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. Oh, you've been doing it all along. Those are called rocks. Hey, that number, it's on your weekly scorecard, my friend. Here we go. Now the next level down is running on EOS. And now they can help you in the evolution and revolution, because every time here, we have to build extensions of ourselves. We can't do it all alone. That's what Delegate and Elevate is all about. So with that, I love this, and I wonder a little bit. We got that. So let's talk about the model. Where do you start in the model? Where does the model begin? Vision? Any other guesses? Thank you. Who said that? Oh, good. I was going to say if it was Aaron the implementer, I was like, come on, Aaron, you knew the answer. Right. To the degree you can make all the right decisions for your business, those 157 issues that you struggle with are just going to solve themselves. They're going to go away for good. That gentleman made the right decision for the business by inviting the wife out to whatever made her happy, where she could live her love and great at, which was not as the finance person in that dental office. And those are among the hardest decisions. Things like, I'll see it on the issues list quarter after quarter. Sally needs to retire. Sally needs to retire. Sally is sitting at the front desk asleep most of the days, and people come in, and that's the first ambassador first impressions. Sally, you need to, we love you. You've been our mom for 40 years. It's time to go. Hard decisions. The 36-hour rule, it hurts for about 36 hours, and then you see John at the front desk, hey, you'd be great at the front desk, right? You'd be like, hey, client engagement, how can I help you? good decision for the business. And when you're in a culture of open and honesty and transparency, people know it's coming. Sally has time to retire. You help her on her way. This is a true story from a client. You help her set finances aside. You work it with her with love. That's the word we heard from Gino, love. And that's the right decision for both the business and Sally, because you both can hold your heads high. And then we move into vision, answering the 8 questions together as a leadership team. And then for those of you who are keeping it a secret as a leadership team, taking it out into the whole universe, shared by all with state of the company, quarterly state of the company, where you've been. Here's what happened last quarter, where you are. Here's what's going to happen in our core values and our VTO and all the stuff. And here's financial transparency. And then where we're going, goals for the 1 year and the quarter. That's what it is. It's almost like that graph we saw yesterday, your past, your present, and your future. That's your state of the company, where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. That's shared by all. It's not shared with all. That's an email. Hey, everybody, here's our rocks for the quarter. Better get them done. See you later. That's shared with all. And they're like, yeah, this will go away real fast. We're going to go drink some coffee. All right, so those are the 2 tools and disciplines for vision. Right people, right seats is people. You got to have both. Right people live your values. Right seats is that accountability chart. And then we move into the data component. And this is, you can only manage what you only can manage what you can measure. So that's the data component in your scorecard. I see heads nodding, so you all know this stuff. Then dropping down into issues. I love that. Make the list and drop it down. It's just an issue. I hope you have gained something today around just softening. That's a very galvanizing word in our language. You have issues. It's just a challenge. It's an opportunity. It's the chance to look at things in a 360 and have a conversation around them with everyone weighing in so you can make the best decision forward. That's what fighting for the greater good looks like in issue processing. And then moving on over into the process component, we have a book for that, document, followed by all, just like vision is shared by all, your processes are followed by all, doing the best and most profitable way each and every time. And then finally, traction, your meeting pulse and your rocks. So now let me take this through. I'm going to take another minute, and I would like to invite your questions that you have about EOS rollout, because I'm going to next the hashtag EOS hacks they want you to know about. Let me do that again. Hashtag EOS hacks they don't want you to know about. What do you want to know about EOS rollout? Let me make sure I get your questions answered.
See, I think I'm on. Okay. We've got operations teams in tech and related fields, and so they are very detailed. They are resistant to the level 10 type meeting and only want to talk about the details. How do you have any tips?
Okay, I'm going to build my list first, and then we're going to get to that. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to build the list so I answer them, and then if I don't get to it, I'll do a Q&A in the end. I'll leave ample time for that. Any other questions about EOS rollout? See the hand in the back?
So we've only been on EOS about 2 months, and
Okay.
we've had focus day. So our leadership team is bought in. We're still learning, but we want to roll it out to the balance of the company. We have about 130 associates. Is there a guide, like step A, step B, or anything provided by EOS?
Great question. All right, so let me just write up focus day, vision building day 1, vision building day 2, and then you're doing your quarterlies. Thank you for that. Any other questions? There was one up here in front. Go ahead, I'll repeat it, Seth. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. What's his name? We'll call him George. The George system. I hope that wasn't his name. The George system. Yeah, okay. We're on the George. And also, I would say any firm like financial investment companies or CPAs, partnership, they can be a little more complex because of the financial component of being a partner in the business, because you have this accountability chart, but really I'm just a partner and I want to sell. So we'll get to that probably last, but I will get to that before we close. One more, EOS rollout. Yep.
We've been doing EOS for about 2 years, and we
Okay.
just recently rolled the L10 to the ops team, which is about 15 people. And when I've sat in on some of the L10s, it's either a cross between chaos or sleeping. It just
Oh.
seems like there are too many people on the team for it to be an effective meeting. Wanted your ideas on that.
All right, great. Thank you for that. So we have a nice juicy list, and I got 14 minutes. I'm going to go through this sheet real quick so I can answer those questions, because those are ultimately what you need to get today. Can you hand me one of those sheets, Jonathan? No, that one. Thank you. All right, good. So here are the hacks for the rest of you who either didn't have a question or want to deepen your training. Let me go through them. This is the process. I want to talk about the vision. I'm going to take the second pass at the model and share with you tools here, and then I'll answer the question. So to have a really great vision, you need to have a very healthy relationship between your visionary and your integrator. That's the power play on the team. That's like the king and queen on the chessboard of the accountability chart. So I invite you, the first little QR code here on vision is become a member of Rocket Fuel University. Hashtag EOS hacks they don't want you to know about. It's free. We have over 12,000 members. We have monthly calls. Jonathan here in the front row is part of that team. And it's a place where you can have a peer group of integrators and visionaries to have your questions answered. By the way, you also have access to a lot of video footage of Mark C. Winners. I know that's who you came to see here today, our closing keynote right after this, but you could have seen him for free and stayed home. I'm sure that wouldn't have been better at all. But that was an opportunity. So it's free videos, free content. You can take the crystallizer assessment and see where you are on your journey. So please, I invite you to go there. If you're doing EOS rollout, your state of the companies, one of the most important things the visionary does is give a core values speech. 3 years ago here at the EOS conference, we had a core values speech competition, and the 5 best ones are located here. I found that buried in our website somewhere, and I wanted to bring that to life because Design Pickle's core values speech is one of the funniest things I've ever seen, and I'm so geek out on it that I just watch it sometimes for fun when I have to go teach core values because it's fun, it's laughable, and if you're in the business of digital advertising, you'd want to go work for this company. They're pretty funny. So see the examples there, and please ask your visionary. That's their role, to stand up and share the passion, the keeper of the culture of the core values. Get excited, tell the stories. You heard them somewhere along here. Surely you've heard core values. What if mom were looking? Those types of things. And you should all know it, because if you're doing the people analyzer tool, we do core value callouts all the time. Help first, do the right thing. Thank you very much for being here. Call them out, know them from heart, take them off the coffee cup and into your culture. So that's Rocket Fuel. And then there's further programs there. If you want to get involved, you can take a full day immersive class called Integrator Masterclass. We just had that on Tuesday here. Everybody 9.75 or better, they loved it. And we have some more classes coming as well. So you can find information on those classes if you want to take a further class in becoming an integrator. Visionaries coming soon to a website near you. All right, so moving on to the Great Boss Toolkit. Has anybody taken Great Boss and read it as a leadership team, kind of like a leadership book club? Okay, there's a great opportunity there. Make it a rock some quarter in the year when you want to learn about LMA. If you sit on the leadership team, LMA is your first functional role. You must GWC your LMA. You must GWC your LMA. What the heck does that mean, alphabet soup? You must get one and have capacity to lead, manage, and hold people accountable with love. And if you don't want to do that, you shouldn't be on the leadership team. And so this is how you will suss out the people who just say, you know what? I want to go back to being an individual provider of something. I've had lots of teams do that. They are happier, the leadership team is happier, and everybody lives happily ever after. So read it as a book club. And if you go to the Great Boss Toolkit, there's 22 pages of content. It's like the Cliff Notes of the Great Boss book, and it's absolutely free. That's one of the books in the Traction Library. I think Renee and Beth actually gave anybody go to Renee and Beth's workshop? Excellent, great, a few people. So that's how you can bring that. You're bringing, by reading the Traction Library together as a leadership team, you're putting all of your leaders through a master's program. I paid for one of those. I think all the EOS books are far better. The Integrator Mastery Forum is where, if you wanted to go deeper, that's where you would find out information about that. All right, moving on into the data component. You have to track things somewhere, and places that we have for that And let's see, I'm scooping along here, is the EOS 1. That's in beta. That's something you can join and keep your numbers in your organization there. We'll be rolling that out in the fall. And then there's 90.io, and this should say /EOS. They have several versions. Please use the one that is specifically for running on EOS. I am way out of sync now with my presentation. That's okay. You don't need that. How can I make that dark? Nope, doesn't matter. Can you darken the screen, the slides? Moving on into process. How many people use the organizational checkup tool? Okay, so if you follow to this code, that's where you can set up an account and you can actually get a score for your leadership team of how strong you are in each of the 6 key components. You don't have to tally and do the math and take your shoes and socks off and use your fingers and toes. It's all done right there for you for free on the website. Set up an account, do it at the beginning of your journey, and then do it once a quarter so you can actually see how you're making progress. By the way, it's not always linear and up. Sometimes you drop down because you know what good looks like and you want more. So take the organizational checkup. It's a free tool. You get right there. Basecamp, I skipped over issues. That's where you can join, and Gino answered this yesterday in a question. If you want to self-implement, all the guides and tools are there to help you with that. If you want to get more free programming, if you haven't had enough, remember after this conference, you can watch for 30 days for free. Set up a lunch and learn with your team members who weren't able to come. And on Fridays from noon to 1, pick a program that you loved and share it with them. Or pick a program you didn't get to and watch that as well. And then just have a conversation. Learning is power. So share this with them. We run on EOS. We have 4 more sessions. This past Tuesday, we had 575, I will call them EOS curious people show up, and they wanted to learn more. So there's free content there for you as well. We are truly a help-first organization. The process book is great to read. That just came out. That was our latest in our deep dive library. The traction library overall is pretty masterful. And then if you just decide you want to work with an implementer, we have like the Menchie matchmaker service of finding the right and perfect implementer for you. They interview us and they find the right match. They really do. All clients who have come to me through the team here that you can identify, we've just hit it off and had great chemistry. You can knock around. Please don't interview 40 of them because you get tired of seeing the meeting and we get tired of doing. Now, we'll always come and do them for no charge. But have someone come into your organization and just share for 90 minutes what it means to run on EOS. I did one a couple months ago, and the guy, the integrator, said something like, well, I'm not sure my team is ready for this. And we did the 90-minute meeting, and he's sitting there doing this, and everyone else is just kind of doing this. And then they all left. And he called me up rather panicked, and I said, no, it's okay. EOS is working. What they saw is the light was about to be shown, and they could no longer be complacent in their roles. You'll get there. He's working with Vision Spark to find the perfect integrator, and we'll resume in the fall. So it's working. It's okay. It's just an issue. All right. So with that, I've taken you through the hashtags they don't know, hacks they don't want you to know about. Any questions on the QR code sheet? Please take that. Yep. Question in the back. Oh, okay. One more for rolling out EOS. Sure.
I've been reading the process book, and as a visionary, I've been reading it very slowly. So the process book says you should have 12 or so core processes, but then you look at some of the vendors who are here, the game book, and it looked like he had many what I would call processes for almost everything. Can you talk a little bit about that? How many processes are the right, and what level of detail or minutia?
Sure.
Thank you.
I'll give it to you in an analogy, and then for those of you who added to the issues list, I'll get to those. I look at documenting process. I too have seen that. There can be many, and I liken it to Google Maps. So when we use Google Maps, if I want to drive from San Diego to LA, I'm not going to get okay, drive another mile. Okay, drive another mile. Okay, drive another mile. I'm going to get like drive on 78 West until you go to the 5 North, and then get off at exit 457, and then Sherman Way, and then yay, you're at your brother's house. Like, it's not going to tell me every single mile what to do. That's what too much detail looks like. And so I think your core process should reflect where are all the different cities you need to go, right? And then just all the different touch points. EOS purity is great, but use it for what you need to get the results you want. That's always the right answer. Here's the tool. How do we best use it to serve our business? Kind of the best I have for you, but I'm happy to talk after. Yeah. Simplify. The 20% that gets 80% done. All right, I'm going to go from the top down. Ops team resistance. Your high fact finders, they often are not sure of quite what the reason is for that. Restate the question for me so I'm answering it clearly, the ops team question. Yep. Right. Are they working on issues lists and prioritizing the list? Yeah, that's the first place. They don't want to. Hey, everybody, we run on this thing called EOS, and this is how we work now. Find your advocates, maybe train 1 or 2 people, and then bring other champions on board. You kind of need your ambassadors first in your leading change initiative. Create a meeting construct that follows somewhat of a level 10 template. It always should start with a little check-in, a little look at measurables, a little look at goals, because that's where you're building your issues list and then getting into creating the list. Ask them for blind faith to try it at least once. I'm going to come in and run your meeting and show you. And at the end, we're going to track and measure how many more issues we got solved for good. And then eventually you'll get your buy-in. And then, of course, the closeout. How did we do scale of 1 to 10, rating your meetings? Even if you would ask them, like jokingly, okay, at the end of the meeting, just come in and say, how would you rate this meeting today? Scale of 1 to 10. 10, you got everything you needed, and 1, it was terrible. You're probably going to get some really low scores. And did you get what you needed today? Did you get your issues solved? Start with those 2 foundational questions. You'll probably get a low score and a no. And say, okay, are you willing to try something different? All right, are you good? Excellent, thank you for that. Time frame, focus day. I love this question. People have focus day and they're like, yay, we love this. We want to roll it out tomorrow. Let's make that our rock for our quarter. We're going to roll it out tomorrow. I'm like, okay, hold on. You're not that great at it yet. Trust me, I know it felt great. You had a fire hose all day. You feel evangelized and washed in this process. Give yourself some time. When you as a leadership team are learning about EOS, you have a focus day, you go away for 45 days, then you have a vision building day 1, and then you go away for 45 days or 50 days and a vision building day 2. And by the end of that first quarter, you know your core values, who you are at the core, where you're going, who's going to be doing it, how you measure success. And then at the end of vision building day 2, you look at how good you are at making a track record of getting stuff done. And usually rock completion is very poor, 50%. If you did 100% in your first rock setting, probably you had the wrong rocks or they were too easy. They were pebbles. So get good at it first, because we want to build trust by going out and say, we have seen this, it works, we're very confident, now we're going to roll it out to you. In the interim time of focus day, vision building day 1 and vision building day 2, you can say, hey, we know there are things happening here and we want to fix them. Blind faith, we're going to take 90 days to learn this new system. It's going to help us operationalize and manage human energy and bring it into the organization. You're going to see us go away for 3 full days. We love you, and we want this to be a great organization. And at the end of that, we're going to have our first state of the company where we share with you what we've done. And that's where you begin the rollout. And you can say something so simple as, here's the new direction. We're going to roll it out with X, Y, and Z first. And eventually, by the end of time frame Z, each of you will know what it means to roll out, run on EOS. I could pick up the cell phone of anybody in your company and say, what's your number? And they would know. Does that help you? Be patient with it. Gino said that yesterday. Be patient. It's a journey. It's a journey to mastery. I like in the first 3 build-up days, it's like the Wizard of Oz, right? We're all in that little circle of going around in circles. And then it's later that we get to the burning brooms and the flying monkeys, right? But we're ready for it. Because we took the time on those little days of getting all dizzy and getting ready for it. And then when issues happen, we're ready. And we make it through to the end. The journey of, I think Oz in that journey would be orange. But anyway. Next, did I answer your question? Partner model, I'm going to go on to that. That's very tough because your partner model, you have people that want to make money and just sell and they want to be on the phone and they sit in a 90-minute meeting and they say, I'm not in here making any money. And the fact of the matter is you have to eventually find that accountability chart, that right structure. Same process applies in financial firms that I've worked with, similar model to a law firm, they will just hire a professional manager. You're going from a lifestyle business, which most financial planning and law firms are, to a professionally managed company to grow. Some partners may stay on the team, and some will simply say, you know what, I'm the top partner here, I'm the top money maker, you go do that. So you would hire an integrator or a marketing person. But early on, I am blinking red. Early on, they would sit in a seat, but it's usually they just opt out. They're like, I want to go dial the phones. That's their unique ability, so allow them to do that. They were probably sitting somewhere down in the sales, and you'll also get resistance again when the person sitting in the sales seat says, no, really, you have to enter all the data in our CRM system. All right, did I answer your question there? Meetings, next tier meeting are awful. Maybe they don't know what success looks like. What is their meeting process? I shared that with you a little bit. Check-in, pulse, dashboard pulse, scorecard, rocks, etc., and then issue solving. And so if people are either falling asleep or not getting what they want, they probably don't know what success looks like. There's a great video. There are some QR codes at the bottom. You can go to EOS Worldwide YouTube. It's the third one from the left. And there's Gino there giving the best talk in the world on how to have a great level 10 meeting. Start there, show them what success looks like. They're probably not doing it well because they don't know what it looks like. So create clarity. And with that clarity, they will probably have better meetings. Do a little audit, get a score, those first meetings, and even make your own observations. Well, if we did a 5, what could we have done better to make this a 10? So with that, I could go on forever. I love this stuff. I hope you do as well. Thank you for your time, talent, and attention. I know you had many other choices today, and I hope you take home a nugget that helps you make a greater impact in the universe and live your EOS life. Now let's go see mark winners. Thank you, everybody.